Last year, congressional Republicans, you'll remember, passed a major tax reform bill. It accomplished a big goal for them and for many of their donors. But tax reform wasn't what Republicans ran on in 2016, popular as it may be now. At the time they ran, you'll remember, on immigration and a promise to treat America's borders like they are actual borders and matter, like this was a real country. Now, some Republicans in Congress want to betray that pledge in the most dramatic possible way. They're working tonight to pass a so-called discharge petition in the House. It would force votes on a slew of immigration measures, including some that would give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. How many? Well, we can't say, because when you push on the numbers a little bit, it turns out that nobody actually knows how many illegal immigrants live in this country. And when we say nobody knows, we mean nobody knows to within like 10 million. The estimate you hear from almost everyone is 11 million. 11 million illegal aliens living in this country. That number comes from Pew. It hasn't changed in a decade, and that should be a tip-off because over the last decade, illegal arrivals have continued, and now states are actively sabotaging deportation efforts. The real figure, it turns out, is much, much higher. ICE Director Thomas Homan admitted that much last year. So we know 11 million is not correct. So what's the real number? Well, an unpublished paper by Yale, 3 professors there, estimates there could be 23 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Their low-end estimate is 17 million. Even back in 2005, analysts at Bear Stearns guessed the real number was probably 20 million illegal in this country or more. The bottom line is we don't know exactly how many are here, but some members of the House Republican caucus think it is a good idea to give amnesty to some of them, or maybe all of them. That's not what their voters wanted, of course, but they apparently don't care. Congressman Jeff Denham is a Republican representing California. He joins us tonight. Congressman, thanks for coming on.
Tucker, thanks for having me back again.
Shouldn't we figure out how many illegal immigrants are in this country before we encourage more to come?
What we should do is actually secure our border. And the only way we're going to get the border secured is actually working together to pass something off the floor. The president continues to talk about $25 billion and secure border, making sure these caravans aren't coming across, stop the catch and release program. This is the only way we actually bring up that debate and actually put something on the president's desk.
But wait a second. Giving amnesty to people encourages more people to come here illegally. We know that. It was tried in 1986, and that was its effect. It's its effect every single time. So before we get more people coming across, and border security nobody takes seriously because it's always been a joke, why shouldn't we know how many are here? And why isn't Congress determined to find out how many are here? It seems like kind of a baseline issue.
Yeah, Tucker, rather than just doing a census to figure out how many people are here, why don't we stop them from coming here in the first place? Doing nothing means another 500,000 people will cross our border every single year. I've been in the majority now for 8 years. That's 4 million people. Shouldn't we stop right now and actually do what the president's asking us for? Even something that the Democrats had proposed a few years ago, and actually provide the funding, build the border security, do the surveillance, make sure that we actually have a guarantee to the American public that we've stopped this influx across our southern border.
Okay, well, how about this? Would you support punishing any employer caught employing an illegal alien, really punishing them? Checking every employer in America with E-Verify universal and making sure that nobody's employing illegal aliens in lieu of American workers. Why not do that starting, I don't know, tomorrow?
Well, as you know, any government program, especially a new government program that needs technology, doesn't start tomorrow. I do support E-Verify. I do support a comprehensive
universal E-Verify.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have to fix the rest of our immigration process first. Right now, we have said, Republicans have said for quite some time now, we will not pass a comprehensive bill, but yet that's what's being proposed today. I want us to support what the president has talked about, dealing with border security, dealing with our dreamers right now because they're in a different situation after following their government and signing up for DACA. We need to resolve that issue.
Following our government, we encourage them to come here illegally with their parents?
No. We had a president that passed an executive order, which I disagreed with. But nevertheless, the President of the United States passed an executive order that allowed DACA recipients to step forward. So these kids who have graduated from our high schools, who've grown up in this country, who know of no other country or no other home, They've done what their country's asked them to do, and they've signed up for this executive order
country?
under DACA.
It's not their country. They're not citizens. Okay. Let's just back up.
Well,
look,
if they've been here
I don't
for
want to sound
decades,
cruel.
if they've graduated from our high schools with our kids.
Well, hold on. Right. But I'm just saying, in a world where there are a lot of priorities, why is this your number one priority? In your state, you've got more than 100,000 people living on the sidewalk. Those are American citizens. Why don't you deal with a problem like that first, or secure the borders first before you start passing out citizenship to people who are here illegally? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's kind of an argument that I get from some of the liberal networks. Why would you have a priority or this priority? I believe on addressing a number of different issues at the same time.
What are you doing about the 100,000 Californians living outside tonight? Okay, but it's not. Look, giving citizenship and voting rights to people who are here illegally is not a way of securing our border. So why wouldn't you secure the border?
Because we have two issues that the president has asked for, including his 4 pillars. But the main thing that he continues to talk about, the president asks for a solution on DACA and for border security. I believe that we can give him both. Okay.
But why? I mean, let's leave the president out of this, just as someone who is hired to represent American citizens. Speak slowly so I can understand. Why would we give citizenship to anybody here illegally, give voting rights to anyone whose family snuck in, who came here illegally, before not a single new person crosses that border illegally, until you can look your voters in the face and say, our border is secure. Now maybe we can give citizenship to illegals.
Sure, and that dynamic changed under the previous president. But first of all, I don't believe in giving anybody anything. This would be an earned pathway. By all of the different bills, it would be at least a 10 to 12-year process. So you'd first sign up for 5 years of a temporary green card that would allow you to work or go to school or sign up for the military. And at the end of 5 years, after you've passed a background check, you've paid your fine and your fee, you've actually proven that you're not on government subsidies, and you're out there working or going to school or serving your country, at the end of 5 years,
none of that's real.
Your reward,
the
gift that you're talking about,
but the
gift that you're talking about is another 5 years, doing it all over again. So it's a 12-year process, 10 years before you'd actually be able to get a legal permanent residence card.
But why not just do it like everybody else does it? Why not? Okay, but why not just look? Millions of people want to come here.
Yeah.
Why would you give a path to citizenship for people here illegally ahead of people who are waiting in line obeying our laws? I don't understand. I'm confused, I guess.
And it's a 12-year process, and I believe that this earned pathway, this earned 12-year process would put you at the back of the line. But certainly somebody who's been here, who's graduated from our schools, that's been in our community, that has followed the executive order under Obama should have that opportunity. And look, doing nothing is not a solution. I am elected to lead. I don't get an opportunity just to sit back and wait and see what happens.
Okay. You know what? As a congressman representing California, you got a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of problems. You have such a high number of... yeah, you do. And so, like, why would this be anywhere near the top of your party list? I'm just completely confused. These are not American citizens. You've got tens of millions of hurting American citizens in your state, and you're putting these people ahead of them. And I don't understand it.
Well, you're elected to lead, and we've got to do something. And the president campaigned on border security. The only way we're going to get that, because you know the rules of this House and the Senate, you've got to get 60 votes. The only way you're going to get the 60 members on a bipartisan border security bill is with this solution that is equally as important that the president of the United States is asking for.
Congressman, thank you very much. I appreciate it.